In this video, I want to explain why I think Ibanez missed the mark with this guitar in two big ways. Let's check it out. Hi, you're here with BudgetPedalChap, and today we're going to be checking out the Ibanez AZES. On their website, they advertise it as being part of the AZ range, but the budget-friendly option. And I think that this is a problem, and I'm going to explain why. But more on that later. Before we get started, I want to thank Steve Cassidy for selling me this guitar at a ridiculous price. It definitely would have been outside of my budget, so big thanks to Steve. He also has a demo of this very same guitar on his channel, so check it out. But not now, check out mine first. I want to start off by outlining some of the things that Ibanez did right with this guitar. I'm going to preface this video by saying that I'm a massive fan of Ibanez guitars as well. So it's got a very traditional thing going on, with a Daphne blue finish paired with a mint guard. They've given it a high gloss finish on the headstock as well, which gives it a really traditional look. But they've opted for a satin finish on the neck itself, so you don't get that sticky feeling that you get with a high gloss neck. The neck heel access to chef's kiss. It is modern functionality and playability. The bridge system in its entirety is designed superbly as well. First of all, let's look at those saddles. They give the traditional tone of a bent steel saddle without actually having to use a bent steel saddle. They are possibly my least favourite type of saddle. They'll often have grub screws that are peering out and scratch your hands, and they generally look really cheap. These, however, are a much more elegant version of that, and this is Ibanez's way of doing things. Thanks to Chris for mentioning in the comments on Facebook that these bear a striking resemblance to Highwood saddles. I'd never heard of Highwood before, but it's difficult to say that there are not some similarities there. What do you think? Did Ibanez copy Highwood's homework here? The bridge itself has got a chamfered edge on it, which has got to be more stable than your traditional 6-screw trem. It retains that classic look, but gives you quality of life upgrades. It has to be said that Ibanez have really tried hard to maintain that classic look. This effort has not been in vain, Ibanez. I have noticed. Now onto some things that aren't problems, but are things that I'm not personally keen on. A few of them are easy fixes too. Though they are smooth and hold tune well enough, I am not a big fan of split post tuners. I know that I was praising Ibanez a little bit earlier for maintaining a classic look, but they are not for me. Getting a decent set of tuners to replace them, however, wouldn't set you back a whole bunch, so this is an easy fix. I know that I've talked up the trem system, and I am still largely on side with it. Screw-in trem arms are not my cup of tea, however. I've got really used to the push-in arms on modern trem systems. Now, I'm unlikely to use the trem system much anyway, so it isn't a huge deal for me. If I really wanted a push-in arm, however, I would have to replace the entire trem unit, which is quite a weighty job. Our Steve has got a big beef with butterfly string trees, and to be honest, I'm with him. I get that Ibanez are trying to retain a classic look, but this seems to be at the expense of functionality. Disclaimer here, I've only used the trem system very lightly and it seemed really stable, so maybe the butterfly string trees are not so much of a big deal. Maybe using something like the bar type system as used on Reverend guitars would have been a nice compromise, but maybe it would have been pushing it, copying two people's homework. the start of the video, I said that Ibanez missed the mark in two big ways, and I'm about to tell you why I think that's the case. One of the big selling points of this guitar is that magic 9-voice switch. It opens up some massive tonal possibilities for the guitar. However, the pickups that they supply this guitar with are rather underwhelming ceramic pickups. I mean, they're fine, but they don't really wow me. You're thinking, cool, well just change those pickups out, right? Well, no, it's not that simple. The pickups in this guitar work on a really strange 3-wire system, which means that there aren't pickups out there that are direct replacements. If you did want to switch them out for aftermarket pickups, you lose that 9-way magic switch. Ibanez have gone to the effort of making bespoke pickups for this guitar, only to use the cheapest possible materials. Now, Ibanez are pretty notorious for making lackluster pickups. However, this seems like they have dropped the ball quite catastrophically. Another complaint of mine about these pickups is that they are quite vintage sounding. However, they are really hot. It means that my usual clean signal has got a bit of hair on it, which is down to the fact that these pickups drive really hard. I did mention two ways that I thought Ibanez dropped the ball with this one, and the second one is the name. Hear me out with this one, I think this might be the biggest fumble. The Ibanez AZ series came out as kind of Ibanez's alternative to something like a Sir or a Charvel Pro mod. Guitars with traditional looks but with super modern playability and features. They usually boast roasted maple necks, stainless steel frets and flatter radius boards, all features that modern players really want. The higher end AZ series seems to adhere to this pretty nicely and puts an Ibanez spin on that formula. The AZES therefore is supposed to be a lower cost alternative to the AZ series. All of the features that make the AZ aren't here on the ES. Stainless frets and roasted necks tend to come at a premium price point, so I can understand the omission of these two. But every spec that they have gone for with this seems to be pointing towards a vintage instrument. Even the board radius is quite vintage, coming in at about 9.8 inches. Now, don't get me wrong, this instrument is well put together and is a really nice instrument to play. However, it does not feel like it belongs in the AZ series. Now, if this was in a line that was similar to the VinMod series by Squier, I'd completely agree. But an AZ, this is not. For the money, it's a really solid instrument. And knowing Ibanez and their quality, I would be happy to gig this today. The fit and the finish of this guitar are flawless too, which speaks to the quality control over at Ibanez. However, it feels like it is competing in the same space as the SE Silver Sky, rather than something like a budget Charvel Pro mod. For me, Harley Benton dominate this area of the market with their Fusion line and now their ST Moderns. Bottom line, it is a great guitar, it just isn't the guitar that they are marketing. I'm going to leave a link up here on the screen to a video that I did about the Harley Benton Fusion 3, which definitely is a modern super strat. Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, drop a like down below. I will see you again soon on the next one.